You're listening to CYOP, Create Your Own Podventure, APPeal. This branching story follows your choices, changing as you respond to what the story places in your path. What's waiting for you at the end? Keep moving on to find out. Now, where were we? After suffering a bite from a rattlesnake on a field test, the predictive AI in your program led you to a cluster of plants to save your life. Unsure of what to do, you've decided to ingest the plants to slow the venom. Aqueous extract sounds like it means the fluid inside the plant's fibers. Good enough to start. You ball up the plants, buds and all, and stuff the wad into your mouth. Chewing it is like chewing a hunk of grass. It's all you can do to choke it down, but you do. For a moment, you wonder why you bother trusting your tech so strongly. You put the headset back on. How much time did that give me? Calibrating, the heads-up display shows. Calculating, additional 6 hours gained until death. Recommending, ambulance call. You pause and realize your stomach has settled. Then the urgency grips you and you dial 911 on your cell phone.
What's your location?
Hi, you exhale. I'm at the Burning Mesa Trail and I've been bitten by a rattlesnake.
All right, we'll dispatch an ambulance. Are you alone?
Yeah, I am.
Great. I'm going to ask you to stay right at your location. Are you at the trailhead or on the trail itself?
I'm up the trail, maybe a mile, maybe a mile and a half. I'm not really sure. You wonder if they'll find you if you underestimate how far up the trail you went. Approximate distance to trailhead, 1.65 miles. The heads-up display shows unprompted. About 1.65 miles up the trail? You correct yourself. There's a pause on the other end of the line. Then,
Okay, I'll inform the EMTs of your location. Now go ahead and apply pressure to the limb above the bite mark and try to maintain a low heart rate. Would you like me to stay on the line with you?
you're struck by a feeling of deja vu when she asked you the question, but it must have been something Charlie asked you back on the night you moved out. No, that's okay, you say just like you did the other time.
All right, the ambulance should arrive any minute.
She says, and the line goes dead. You know she's lying. The trailhead is miles outside of town, up a winding road which goes into the foothills, but hopefully the plants in your stomach will do enough to delay the venom and ensure the EMTs can save you. You remove your belt and tighten it around your thigh, but you can still feel the pulse throbbing down the leg. It's a strange realization when you're this close to death that you truly don't want to die. Your thoughts turn to your parents. They never seem to fully support your chosen career of inventor. Your dad said once that a corporate gig as a mechanical engineer will be far more stable, and the inventions could be a hobby thing. But you knew from a young age that you were meant to change the world, and designing machining tools for a manufacturing plant wasn't going to do that. Your thoughts go to Charlie. You'd met her just after leaving your master's program, in line at a grocery store. A short joke, a slight jab over Charlie's grocery selections, and the next bit of banter secured a phone number and a bowling date. Things went well. You never dated much when you were younger, and by the time you started to care, your career was taking off and you had very little time to put yourself out there for others to pursue. Then Charlie came along, and you met someone willing to move alongside you, to make their own progress, someone with their own goals running parallel alongside your own. It was really, really good for a time. Then you grew too close and overcorrected. You shake yourself awake. You fell asleep. You've sweat through your clothes, and for a second you think that's why you've woken up. But then you hear footsteps and shouts. Over here, you croak. Here! It's the EMTs, and they work fast. Before you know it, you're set on a stretcher, and the cool shade of the back of an ambulance shelters you. There's a pinch at your elbow, and you try to resist as they lift the APPeal headset from your neck. But they lower a mask over the lower half of your face, and you soon pass out. You fade in and out of the hospital ICU. When you finally come to in a stable state, the doctor explains what treatment they administered, and you've mostly let it wash over you. The details you catch explain how the natural antitoxins in the plant held off the venom long enough for the hospital to save you. The doctor praises your quick thinking, and they leave you to recover in peace. The full weight of what they said isn't lost on you. You've survived due to plants. And the only reason you knew of the plants was due to the tech. Not only did it work, it quickly identified the swiftest, effective method of saving your life. These thoughts occupy your mind wholly as you're discharged from the hospital the next day. You walk with a slight limp, but it does little to slow you as you order a ride share to the trailhead in order to retrieve your car. The APP.eal headset is in your backpack, and you haven't put it back on yet, not until you're back at the lab. Your car has a parking ticket on the windshield, but it doesn't bother you. Petty fines like that are beyond your concern as you drive back to your apartment. You change into a fresh set of clothes and shower to wash the last day and a half from your skin. A microwavable meal does a good enough job to fill your stomach, and then you're back at the workshop. The APP.eal headset sits on the table as if it's the most important object in your existence. Its potential is obvious, but the brief foray into the outside world yesterday drained most of its battery. The program itself seemed to work fine. Your next step would be to stabilizing the power supply. But you haven't had a chance in months to restock your supplies. You aren't sure if you have enough cash on hand to make any substantial upgrades, but you certainly have time. Maybe you could better optimize the headset performance before you go out and spend more money on things. What do? If you invest time, listen to episode 1.17, also known as Time. If you invest money, listen to episode 1.04, also known as Money.